Amandla. 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 Viva EFF, viva. Viva EFF, viva. Tata EFF, tata. Tata EFF, tata. Hauwe mmušo wa digata marukwana, hauwe. Hauwe mmušo wa mashodu, hauwe. Thank you very much. Program directors. Ke leboe le baruti ba ke ya geshu ya ZCC ya lekganyane ya modimo wa kgotso, modimo wa kganya, modimo wa ditšhabatšhaba. Re leboge ka moka ba hlaole, re re go lena le wele ka mahlong, re le ba EFF re lo kwa mogoši, ra retšwe ka makata a namane, re tle re le thekge ka gore mokgekolo Mahlaole le ngwana gage re tsamaišane tsela e telele, ene ga re le mo a re baetapele necessarily re bana ba mokgekolo, re magorena o re tloetše, ene re a thaba gore ge le tlile ka bontši ba lena mo go a bontšha gore magorena e be le motho wa phedišanang le batho, le bona le mmušo o emeletše ka bona, premier ke kukile le bo speakera le baetapele ba mokgatlo o bušang ba re le ge re ka ba mokgatlo wa kganetšo, mara ge e tla mo batswading le malapeng re bana ba tharientso re a khomotšana ka gore ye re lwang a se a mahlo a makhibidu ya o nyaka go bona o mongwe a ile lebitleng, ye re lwang ke ya gore na bophelo ba batho ba rena bo ka kaonafatšwa ga botse ke mang, ka gore ge re tšwelela mo John Taolo re lebeletše ke tsamaya le yena deputy president premier pelo tša rena di rothamadi, re lebeletše ba re le mera gona a dia paving, walking paving, ke re do you really think this paving was necessary in a community where there are no basic necessities? Why does it look like our priorities are mixed up? Because the first thing we ought to deliver to these people is reliable water, is electricity and a flushing toilet. Barle sesiwa Shadraki ke ena motswadi a rena mo maorena gore ga re le lebeletše ka mafure ka Sepedi ke gore re lebeletše dintlwana mo le tlo yang ona di sa flashe, le mokgekolo ba ile ba robala le ba batlileng pele a bona ba robala, re nna ka moara dintlwaneng tše di sa flasheng, re fetše re re ke rena batho mara re phela go tshwana le diphoofolo ka gore ke tšona fela tšeo di swantšeng gore go bobea bo fetše bo di bone. Rena re le batho a re a tshwanela gore bobea re bo bone, re swantše re bo romele go ya mo bo swantše bo ye gona ka gore ke sona seriti sa batho seuwe. Jwalo, why can't we at a very small scale do, if we don't have water, boreholes, and every street premier do a septic tank? If we can't put money to put a sewer system, at least every street, ebile the village jamu Northern Cape di bitša gore ke metsana, that's how small they are. The whole village can have a septic tank enough to accommodate these small villages of the Northern Cape. Why am I saying this? There is no single white person premier who doesn't have a flushing toilet. In the most remote area, in the areas where there is nothing, once you see a white person in that area, you must be guaranteed that that white person has got a flushing toilet. Worse, there is no farmer without electricity. Matale, the wires of electricity can jump a village and go and land in a farm of a white man for one family. Rise again to jump many other villages to be dropped in another farm. Because there is no white man, not a single one, without an electricity. In the most remote areas. What is it that individual families of farmers are doing which we can't do as a government? Because these ones are just one family. We are a government. How can we be outsmarted by one family which brings itself water, flushing toilet, electricity? Why can't we get the most basic rights? What have we done to who? Are we a cursed nation? Are we a defeated nation? Have we wronged someone somewhere so that we can all of us collectively go and apologize to that person? For because no human being deserves the conditions we find ourselves in, next to us, in the immediate, is minerals being stolen by the Oppenheimer family unashamedly. And no one dares to say anything about that. Because you say that, you are going to be rejected. They are going to come after you. The highest price you'll pay is death. The people of Northern Cape are not so many. With the type of minerals we have in this province, each and every house should be having the most basic necessities. If we were a state that has got a political will, if we're a state that was not scared of the Oppenheimer, all of us seated here, all of us, including Shadrach's mom, who are all workers of the Oppenheimer family, by the way. No one must ever claim, including me, we work for them. They started parliament, I work in parliament. They were the first ones to establish parliament. The Oppenheimer family were members of parliament, directly elected into that parliament. They established it. The diamond was discovered by them. If you follow the literature, our people argue that they found it before them. The gold was founded by them. The whole of Southern Africa was founded by them. Cecil John Rhodes is the grandfather of the current Oppenheimers you see. Everything else you see was done by them. We all are subjected to one family because there is no political will. Today, there is no electricity. Lena lebele sna motagase libile le ska bala duma selo shem. Ese khale re tlo do tshwana. Motlagase o a tsamaya. The electricity is going. And we are not being told and they are not being honest with us. The situation is worse. Partly because the system wants to collapse the ANC. I agree with that. That there was a consensus by the establishment to collapse the ANC. And they are going to use ESCOM to collapse the ANC. But why is the ANC not waking up to fight back and defend itself? Because there is a person who controls whether we go into stage 8 or 10 or anything of that sort, called is called the system controller. That person, his title is system controller. That's why during the shutdown, there was no load shedding. Because system controller said, no, let's not do load shedding. But this person who switches off and on, they don't know who's that person. They don't know the name of the person. But two, the person who controls the system, called the system controller, has never been vetted. We don't know if he's working for other states other than working for ESCOM. There's no vetting on the so-called system. There is a vetting on the CEO. There is a vetting on all of that. The Boers were so smart. When they were pushed out of government, they maintained the lower positions, which matters the most. Mo John Taule, mayor or municipal manager, as at Sibur Metsi ba bula bile ba tswalla kae. Ano bona metsi so mara hore motšhino la ba o jikisha kae we. Ke mokhala bo mongwe wa lekgowa o sale a le mola from 1975. IG retirement is the one that controls to open the water or not to open the water and all. It's a lower position but very strategic position. We are busy fighting ourselves on the most useless position that lasts for 5 years. Jabu Kanselara, Maburu, Amatala, Ausrute, but occupy what matters the most. Relwakaburena today, load shedding. Who switches off? Who switches on? What security clearance does this person have? They will collapse the grid. Once they collapse the grid, like Venezuela, there will be chaos in this country. The grid once collapsed in Venezuela. So if you want to know what happens when the grid collapses, check out Venezuela or what happened. Then you will understand what problems are coming to South Africa. So Shadrach and many others who refuse to be the puppets of the Oppenheimers said we need to take this struggle of economic freedom to a different level where it will not be dictated to by the establishment. And Shadrach joins and leads this struggle in the Northern Cape through the blessings of his mother, through the blessings of his community. Because before you lead us, you must first win the word where you come from. That's where the people will show you and tell all of us if they believe in your leadership. That's why in this word where Shadrach's mom stayed, the word belongs to the EFF. And I hope that the councillor is not an ANC light. That the councillor of the EFF must be driven by the love for his people. That there must never be any family in this world which can't bury their loved one because they don't have money, yet they've got a councillor. How little councillor untate or umme wa watieu, especially for the chiwana, the orphans who don't have their own. We don't have a father, we don't have a mother. Our younger sister died. As they are still busy thinking what's going to happen, they must see the red flag entering their door, led by a fighter wearing a beret. What can we do? You will never replace the ANC if you do things the same way the ANC does. Uyamafunga ubona ditente, uyamafunga ile matitjhere le manese, ha ile batho ba maema ko odimo, ibile o llela o ba ko programu. President Jeremy said the whole program to announce councillor of fitile, so what? Because a councillor must be a servant of the people. Why is the EFF and ANC having a debate about cleaning the illegal dumping site? It shouldn't be a debate. Cleaning after black people, it must be consensus. Making townships clean, it must not be a political contestation. It must be a civil duty for every public representatives. I never thought I would stay in a meeting where we are going to debate whether we are going to clean our townships and villages or not. It shouldn't be if we love our people. So when Shadrach's mom went all over sending her children to go and establish an alternative party to the apartheid system, she was driven by the love for the people. We must have love for the people. I must give it to Premier. When I was coming in here from the airport until arriving here, I've not seen any major pothole. I can't say the same about Gauteng. In any provincial road, we ought to be honest. And I was like, there must be something they are doing different here. Why should we have potholes that you drive on them every day as a premier, and you don't stop and say to the MEC of Public Works or the mayor, I'm not going to live here until you have sent a delegation to come and patch this pothole? What happened to being the people's government, the activist government that must be driven by passion and love for our people? Shadrach, those are the things that we are remaining with, that we, me and you and the rest of us, have to deal with on daily basis. Your mother is no more. You guys came to stand here as a sign of force and unity. All of us that you seeked to impress when you were standing here were either going to leave in the afternoon or tomorrow. That unity you displayed here should never be about impressing us. It should be a genuine unity. Because a mother that was a glue that brings us together is no more. The Christmas in this house, the lunch in this house, the reason and motivation to drive from Kimberley to come here is no more. Mamulu bulechar ntoye iskaba matupa. But that will be done if the death of my mother serves as a reason for us to even come more closer. Many of us use the death of our mothers to cause the division in the family. Because my mother is no longer there. Our elder sister, when she tries to call us to order, you are not my mother, you can't tell me anything. If anything, if your mother was not a witch, why would your sister be a witch? Where did she learn such practices? If you say to her, she's a witch, you are saying unwittingly, and by extension, your mother was a witch. Because she does everything in the image of her mother. Abe basadi bona ba tla utshegisha eba thoma ba basadi ba nyaka go ba bo mma bona so go raka ba ba le ngwana o mo tshwara ka mogola bo mma ne ba mo tshwara wa mmapula, because the first woman they know is their mothers. So re ska re tsama mo rata ra go ba re go na le boloi bo re sa botsebeng. O tsebo re batho ba o sekwane ba o sebe ba nkwana ntwa mathomo ba ilwelang e re to tsamaya mo ke bukana e la o di ngwadisha ya di 2 ranta le di 10 ranta tšhelete ya gona ha e fete 1.5. That money is going to cause divisions. O ke putšo re ka ba ra lwesha ke 1.5. Re tle re le khomoditše re la le lena. Shadrach, you haven't seen it because since you announced the death of your mother, the fighters came in their numbers. They never allowed you space to be alone. Tonight, you are going to be alone. The reality will dawn in. That SMS will not come through. That phone call will not come through. You will look all other sides. The comrades will be busy with more other meetings. And then you will now know, my mother is gone. What does it mean, my brother? If you are not going to embarrass your mother in her grave, you are not going to be a crybaby. There is no parent who's an orphan. You are not going to say to us, I'm now an orphan. My father is gone. My dad is gone. You are not an orphan. You've got a title. You are a parent. You can't have two. You have orphan ya siya. Tlhokomela bana ba gago. Tlhokomela lapa la geno. Do not drown in tears. Mokgekolo robetši o le godišitše. Le wena o bolele ka molomo wa gago. Ha le bokisi le theoa o le lebeletše. Say with your mouth, I release you, my mother. You played your role. How come lokolla mokgekolo le a motho a nyaka o senya family a o coerce into damaging the unity and the good image of this family? You are going to be the first one that says, do not bring me into cahoots that seeks to divide my family, because I want to honor my mother's legacy. Re o tshepa chairperson. Ka mo family ba rile se wena moetapele ko wena ngwana ka mo a ba bolela in the same sentence se siare ke papa ka wano. O moetapele o kaname o dutse so lebeletse odimo. Everything you do, you are a leader, and you provide leadership at home first before you can lead us. Na re nna magweng re thakana le batho ba enwa di champagne ba tsamaya ka dikoloi tše dikgolo ba dia metholo e ka moka mara mo ba tswang gona ga bo bona a ona fence. Motho a re ena o nwa ace of space a tsamaya a re koloi ya re vuruvuruvuru e kaka a re o dia di-tendera mara ka geno bommao ba jile na. Before utlo fa basetsana ba di sushi le dingi mo magweng mo Joburg mo Kimberley, is your family well fed? So Shadrach, before o re botša gore wena o moetapele, etapele ka mo gae, o be le tša go ja ka mo gae, o be le mabone le metsi, o be le unity, o be the counselor of the old and the young, because that is your responsibility as a leader. O ska ba ya pelo le mokgekolo a robale ka gore na ka mo EFF re na re šetšeng re na le mandate o motee fela wa rena ko tlhokomelana. Rena the survivors, rena who are here to support this family, we must always look after each other. We can't look after each other if we don't love each other. If you are conspiring against any leader of the EFF or any fight of the EFF, the funeral of Shadrach's mom should remind you of the cause. What is the cause? Is to love each other as black people. And you will never love black people if you don't love your fellow fighter. I love you, Shadrach Tlaule. Thank you very much.